Yeah, we're in the building. It's the One Night Show, and we are here just to let you know. And we got a special show, big show for you today. It's going to be crazy. We have in-studio guests. Residents are in the house today. So we're going to talk about what's going on, people's apartments, everything that's happening. Giving you guys time to share. So share like you're supposed to. And let's get it going, because NYCHA has a voice, and the voice is One NYCHA. So we need to share what's going on so that everybody knows what the problems are. Through the information, then we can deal with stuff. And yes, the mics are hot. But I'll turn them off again. You know what? I'm going to hit the button. Because I wasn't here last week and I missed it. Let's go to work, y'all. Oh, yeah, you got to watch the cameras, by the way. Yeah. Because you turn in front of the camera, then you block the shot. Hey, check it out. It's 73 degrees in New York City, mostly cloudy, and it's raining. It's raining. It's off and on, so you know what? Your barbecue might have been ruined today, but you know what? You can cook inside. I'm doing bronzini in the house and crab legs. That's what I'm doing today because I can't do the barbecue. So I'm going to have a good time. Stan Moss, are you in the house?
Stan Moss, I'm in the house.
All right.
Sandrea Coleman, you in the house?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Special guest, are you in the house?
Yes, I am.
Good. We're going to move that a little bit closer. There you go. All right.
Yes, I am.
So we get that going. Yes, indeed. So once again, it's happening right now. This is the One NYCHA Show, and we do this show every Sunday at 4 o'clock, right? I had to get the time right. That's why I had to stutter a little bit.
Mm-hmm. So many shows.
Big shout out to all my people out there that have been stranded, on the highways, right? Your cars have been destroyed by the weather, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's been rough.
Y'all in the camera.
Yeah, y'all just
totally. No. Don't, y'all totally in the camera.
Yeah, just block my shot. Don't let the people see me.
Y'all in
the We gonna work it out.
She's like, what's going on? Yeah, see that camera? It's pointed at me.
Right.
So if you get in front of it, there you go.
And if we do that, we're going to do that to y'all.
There you go. We're going to block everybody's shot.
Yeah, we're going to pay y'all back. We're going to pay them back, right? We're going to pay them back. We're going to be petty.
You damn right.
We petty today. We're going to get into y'all. We're going to be like,
we're going to get petty.
We're going to get into y'all shot.
And bang. Word up. Welcome to the One NYCHA Show. And we got a heavy conversation that we're going to get into and get involved with. The special guest who, she's here already, and we have 3 guests in the studio today. And their stories were so compelling that we felt like in order to do it justice, they had to come in. Like, we couldn't do it on a Zoom. We couldn't just show it. It's like they had to come in and tell their stories. And I'm glad that they came and took the time out to spend this time and tell their stories on the One NYCHA Show. This week, I did a lot of stuff. I did some activism, really.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm feeling kind of activated.
All right. What you do?
Yeah. I did that thing with Claudia in Washington houses. Right. And we gave away like iPads.
That's good.
Right. I gave away 2 iPads, which was awesome.
Beautiful.
Right. And then they gave away school books. Maria Davis came actually.
Okay.
And she gave away books. Hip Hop Boulevard came and did T-shirts and stuff. And then we did school bags, knapsacks, and all that kind of a thing. And I played music and I DJ'd.
Okay.
And there was food and it was a very nice event. It went off really well. A lot of kids got a lot of stuff. Free haircuts.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, from Imperial Cuts. Big shout out to Imperial Cuts. It was free haircuts and everybody came in and we had a great time and the event went off well. Next week I'm going to my first ball, y'all. I'm going to a ball.
All right, that's something different.
Yeah. I'm going to, and I'm not sure. Like, I don't want to overdress because I'm thinking like I want to do a tuxedo vibe.
I was going to say a ball is a tux.
Yeah, exactly. But from my understanding, it's not that. And I know, Sandra, you probably know it's the fall fundraising honoring community leaders, Maria Cruz and Santos Negron. Thursday, and who's giving the event? The event is El Nuevo Caribe Democratic Club.
That's in the Bronx?
They're doing that in Harlem.
Harlem, okay.
And that's with Harry. Harry
not my
actually,
club, not my club.
Yeah. No, it's not your club. It's Harry, right? Harry invited me. He's like, "Come on, you got to come and have a good time." And I was like, "All right, bet." So we're gonna do that on Thursday. Do that on Thursday.
You got to get his ball attire on.
Yeah, I've never done that before.
You gotta take pictures,
I've never
man.
been to a ball.
Right.
Like, what is that? Because you go to a ball. Like,
Hey.
I'm going to a ball.
Hey.
So I'm feeling like
I
I should
guess
be.
it's what you call it, and then it depends on how people come out, right?
Right.
So balls are tuxedos and should be gowns.
That's what I'm thinking.
But
Yeah.
people like to wear cocktail dresses too. I mean, because you know that people do what they want to do. But a ball is technically tuxedos
That's what I'm
and
thinking.
gowns.
And I have like the James Bond jacket already, the tux joint. Yeah, I got the white jacket with the black pants.
Right.
Martini stirred, not shaken. I got it already. I'm ready to rock.
Shaken, not stirred.
Right, I'm ready to rock, but I don't want to overdress. You know, what I'm saying? I think if I overdress, then maybe I might be overshadowing people.
No,
But
it's okay.
Nah, you gotta show out.
It's
You think so?
okay.
Yeah, you gotta show
You
out.
gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm going with the
all
One
out.
Nitro family.
A ball is a ball.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm going
If they if they underdress, that ain't on you. That's
That ain't
on
me,
them.
right?
That's their
Right. It's
ball.
about my style.
Look, rent a tux.
'Cause it's a ball.
Rent a tux.
Yeah, you
and,
better rent a tux,
they,
son.
They got places to buy dresses and stuff that
Yeah,
are
I'm
not so
coming out.
expensive. So.
Yeah, I'm coming out.
Yeah,
I'm coming to rock.
Yeah.
Robin's coming. Robin's gonna come too.
Okay.
I'm sure she's gonna wear really
She'll wear-
something
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
She already knows how to get down. So.
I'm sure she got some gowns in the closet.
Yeah, I
Or
think she's
can
gonna be
grab
all right.
one. Grab
I'm
one.
pretty sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, Sandre, what's going on with you this week? What's happening?
Yeah, nothing much. Just been busy. My week has been busy and blessed. Always just working with the residents, the seniors, making sure, of course, the PPE, checking with people with masks, networking with our center, our community center, to make sure things are being done. We did a distribution of food last week, and we were supposed to get some baby formula from the place that was helping us as well, but we didn't get it because they couldn't get it over there. So I went to pick it up. So I picked up a whole bunch of baby food, Similac and stuff like that, and other formulas.
Okay.
So and I have twins on my floor, so I was able to bless them.
Great.
They was like, I took like a shopping cart of stuff to them the other day, and I went back to the center to get some more book bags for residents that didn't get their book bags. So I
Great.
just requested 10 and went through the building to give the people I knew couldn't make it out. And I took care of them. And it's just been one of those weeks, kind of laid back in a sense, but still busy, calls and stuff. The elevators are back working, thankfully,
Thank
finally.
God for that.
So
Thank God for that.
thankfully, because it was rough. We were without one elevator for like 11 days.
Wow.
And we have like at least 5 people that are wheelchair bound in my building, and somebody else said it was, I just went off, somebody else said it was 6, but I don't know the count because some people that are wheelchair bound do not come out often. So I know I see like 3 or 4 on a regular.
Right. Okay.
And walkers and canes. I mean, we got to have both elevators operating, and when one is out, it puts stress on the other elevator, and then that one wound up going out. So we were without an elevator on Saturday last week for several hours. Wow. But a lot of elected officials got involved. The community center got involved. We needed a specialist and some parts or whatever, and they got it going. So and today, with UES for BLM. Today makes day 430 that we've been doing
Wow,
it, as y'all know.
Dedication.
Yeah, at our 405th day, as many know, we transitioned to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yesterday when we was out there, I showed up and we had an angry white man out there that was just complaining and basically.
What was he saying? Now you can't glaze over that.
Yeah.
What
Well,
was he
he was
saying?
just
What was he
he was actually looking at the murals and the signs, right? And he was actually picking out people that shouldn't be up there.
What people
Like
that
it's
died?
like this person that got killed. Okay, I understand that one. Like, this is what basically he was saying. I understand this one, but this one shouldn't be up there, although they were killed by police. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we picking and choosing who we should feel sorry for and who we shouldn't. And then
so
he got in an
disrespectful.
argument with
And what qualifies you, right? What
Yeah, well,
qualifies what qualifies him to even have that conversation?
Well, the crazy part is, I don't know if y'all know about Luke Cage.
yeah.
Okay, y'all know about Luke Cage?
I'm not
So
familiar.
I've been binge watching on Netflix.
That's
so
Luke Cage, the superhero from Marvel Comics.
Right.
Yeah,
So I've been binge watching. So my behind came right up in the middle of the man and one of the organizers, like right in the middle.
Right.
Like, I mean, literally, like I felt like Luke Cage, and I stepped in the middle, and he was still yelling at him, and I'm like, not right now, and I'm getting ready to start the program. So he went on his rant, and then one of the organizers took him to the side, and I just before that happened, I pulled out the bullhorn and we went right to work, because you have to show people you can agitate, you can say what you want, and be the way you want, but you're not going to stop what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So
That's right.
but I just said I was inspired by Luke Cage.
Word up.
So but that's it. But that was my week. It was busy, and
I'm glad you checked him too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was very important.
Yeah.
God keeps me away from those situations because
Yeah.
I'm going to react badly. I always be like, why wasn't I there?
Well, you know what? I
Because it would've been an
couldn't
entirely
have no
different
brothers
vibe.
there, definitely, because it
Yeah, because we'd have got active.
Yeah. That's not acceptable.
You know what I'm saying? You're going to get active. Like, you feeling kind of like, yo.
It comes down to putting your body on the line, and
100.
people don't understand that. But like I said, it was Luke Cage, and it also was Jesus. I didn't feel anything. I just walked right in the middle of them.
You went Jesus.
Jesus.
All right, good. All right, you went Jesus. Stan, what's going on with you, Stan Morse?
Yes. Well, to first give a big shout out to my son, Malcolm. He was in the hospital for the past week with sickle cell. He actually came out today.
Awesome.
So he's back, back out the hospital, which is great. So we got to watch and be careful. I mean, we don't want him to go back in.
Right.
And hopefully he calms himself down and don't exercise too much and do certain things to put him in the hospital. So hopefully he gets that message. We're still riding the high of our lawsuit against Queensbridge. We got a lot of media coverage. Coverage continue to happen throughout the week of last week.
Okay.
Big shout out to those 12 residents in Queensbridge.
Yes,
who stood
give
up
them some rock.
and are taking the management office to court for lack of cleaning, lack of repairs, lack of respect.
Good.
We're gonna be suing Ravenswood next. Y'all guys are up next. That'll be the next lawsuit that we're gonna be working on. So we pushing forward with that. I do want to make a mention of the elections. I was in Queensbridge on Friday, and I spoke to some residents, and it's a shame. They're very upset on how the elections went down. And I feel that NYCHA residents are being disenfranchised with these elections that they're having for resident council presidents. I heard some votes might have been stolen. I heard there was a lot of ruckus, a lot of confusion. Two people ran for two different offices and they don't get along. So we have a vice president and a president that don't get along at all.
They won. They literally won.
April Simpson won, so she's now the resident council president.
Okay.
And then Corinne, who's backed by Bishop Taylor, is the vice president. And the question is going to be, how are they going to work together? And what is going to be the real agenda? And why this is so important is that as we fight to keep public housing public, the resident council presidents play a large role because they actually speak for and represent the residents. And so if they're misrepresenting or saying they're for privatization or whatever the case may be, well, then that's a problem. So it's really important that we pay attention to who sits in those seats. And make sure that they're absolutely representing the people.
For the people.
Right. And so
not themselves.
There's some questions there. There's some real questions about the legitimacy of
They want
that
to
election.
tell them to call me.
So did the whole board go in though? Like, was all the positions filled? Like,
I believe the positions were filled.
they have 30 days to any appeals. Or
Well, I think we're going to take that up. And one person we really wanted to run was knocked off the ballot. Suddenly at the last second. So we feel that they're kind of picking and choosing who they want to sit in those seats. Depending on whether you for the blueprint or not or what have you. And it's really it's a shame.
They got to listen. All right. There are lots of people that don't like each other that work together.
Well, yeah,
that is kind of what it is. You don't always like the people that you work with, but
not people don't like their boss.
Exactly, people don't like their boss.
Right.
But they show up to work.
I didn't like my DJ. You know what I'm saying? And we'd fly on different flights and stay in different hotels, but we met on that stage every night and did our job. We went to work.
Right.
So the deal is this: president, vice president, you might hate each other, but the deal is this: your personal feelings have nothing to do with your job.
Well, that's correct. That's correct.
Right? It ain't got nothing to do with it. You got to do your job for your people and for your development. You know what I'm saying? I work with people that I don't like all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I have no emotion about it. I'm like, I don't care. I'm like, listen, what are we doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? How do we get to the
You
goal?
don't like me, Rock? Joke,
Nah,
joke.
girl. You know I love you,
joke,
girl.
joke.
I love you, girl. You
We
know,
gonna do a
come on.
duet together. I
Come
gotta
on.
talk to you later.
Come on.
I
Yeah.
gotta talk to you later.
You hear
We
the
gonna do
voice,
something
right?
Together. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna tell you what it is. You hitting it. This is like a little prophecy for you because you just hit something. But we
Yeah,
gonna
we gonna do
talk.
that.
But I still
So,
say,
yeah, they gotta work together, bro.
We're gonna look and see whether or not that election was legitimate. You know,
Yeah.
that's really what it's gonna come down to, especially when you
You
talk
got 30
about
days.
votes being stolen. You know, but the other part of the week, you know, is the guests that we have on.
I'm ready to do it.
I first got the call about maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And we get a lot of calls, you know, with NYCHA residents, you know, issues that they're having with repairs, and some touch you more than others, you know. But this particular story touched me more than the many other stories that I hear, you know. So I wanted to bring Latasha on, a Ravenswood resident,
Yeah.
that I've been working with, you know, to get repairs done in her apartment. And then she told me about what's happening with her grandmother and her aunt, you know, and it was really was heartbreaking, you know. So I won't take up too much more time. I'll let Latasha tell the story, and we'll get into it.
Welcome and talk to us.
Say one night, y'all. Thanks for having me here, and Stan Morris of the Justice Coalition. Thanks for giving me a chance to tell my story. Basically, my grandmother is 88 years old. She has Alzheimer's. She could barely walk. She needs assistance in walking. She's on the 4th floor of Jamaica Houses. She put in for a transfer, and it's been going on 3 years, and she's still in the same
Unacceptable.
apartment building. The process is not going through quick enough. Her health is deteriorating. My aunt, she's 68 years old. She's taking care of my grandmother. She's getting older. She can't bring shopping carts of food up 4 flights of steps all the time, laundry all the time. So it's also taking a toll on my aunt's health.
Right.
And basically, I feel like they're just waiting for my grandmother to pass away. So I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Take your time, sis. Take your time.
Take your time.
Okay.
Please. Yeah,
I'm trying to
it's
do as
emotional.
much as I can,
Right.
because my grandmother, she took 3 children out of the system and she raised them.
Wow.
So I owe her. My aunt helped her raise us.
Right.
And I want them to have better living conditions.
Yeah.
They even have conditions in the apartment. The night of the storm, it was raining through the window. Like,
Oh, wow.
they don't deserve to live like this.
No.
It's not right. And I
Wow.
appreciate getting a chance to tell my story. That way they can get the help that they need. And
Wow.
NYCHA could move a little quicker.
So what is the condition of the apartment right now?
Right now, my grandmother's bedroom is 3 prior bullet holes in the ceiling.
What?
Yeah, in the ceiling from prior residents. Her walls are chipping. I sent the video to Stan.
Yeah.
The paint, no matter how much my aunt paint, is coming back off. The walls are cracking in the bathroom. The hallway has asbestos. Besides her going up and down the 4 flights of steps, the hallway is falling apart. I live in Ravenswood houses,
Okay.
and their situation, their living situation, is a lot worse than mine.
Okay.
A lot worse than mine. Ravenswood isn't perfect.
Right. Sure isn't.
But you just recently had some issues too. So tell us
Yes.
about that at your apartment as well.
I'm waiting for my kids' room to be inspected for asbestos because there's 2 holes in the floor.
Can't make this up.
No, you really can't.
My bathroom is cracking. I've been waiting on a brand new door for a year. I had to get a Ring alarm system because I don't feel safe with the door that I have.
Right. You was, oh gosh.
I mean, yeah.
She needs a carpenter and everything. Like the door, that's the carpenter's.
Yes.
And it's like,
Yes.
and they come a dime a dozen in NYCHA, but they need to hire more. For
Yes.
real.
You know, it's,
And-
go ahead, Natasha.
Are you having any? I mean, I'm just going to between the 3 of you, and I'm asking the question. You guys having any respiratory issues or
I
any
have
breathing
asthma.
issues? You have asthma, right? Yeah.
That.
That seems to be a big thing in NYCHA, right? That because of the environment, right? And asthma, the environment plays a very big part of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you have too many roaches in your house, that can trigger an asthma attack. If you have
Absolutely.
mold, that can trigger an asthma attack. You know, the paint chipping, the dust from the paint can cause the asthma attack, can trigger these things.
Well as other upper respiratory.
Upper
Yes.
respiratory
Yes.
issues.
Right.
You
It
know, so-
exacerbates, whatever you have going
so
on.
I'm just kind of curious about that. Okay.
And I just want to say, I've been working with Latasha for her particular apartment, and I just got to say, Ravenswood management office is one of the worst that I've dealt with
Wow.
of all management offices, and I've been in many of them. it's to the point now where they're just basically ignoring the residents. Basically straight up ignoring them and not dealing with no repair issues whatsoever. And the lack of respect for Miss Liverpool, I'm gonna call her out. She's a manager there. Is beyond anything I've ever seen. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, one of our co-hosts, right, is Mike.
Yeah.
Mike Jones. He lives in Ravenswood.
Yeah.
He's in Ravenswood.
I know we have to, as residents, these managers that manage the property, they do a really great job telling us what we can't do. Like even hanging up flyers, or you can't feed people outside in the courtyard without permission. They're real strict with that. They need to get strict instead of all the policy things they like to push forth. They need to get more strict in fixing apartments and managing it properly, because it's no way that you can go and be ignored when you have issues. And then they get mad if you reach out to media and stuff like that, or come on at One Night Show or anything like that. Like, you got to do what you got to do. But we also have to work on getting rid of the managers that are not working for us. Do a petition and get them removed.
And I think that what's mind-boggling to me really is, I'm a child of the 70s and the 60s, 70s, right? And you couldn't ignore somebody, right? If you ignored somebody, there was repercussions behind that. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So you're ignoring me. I'm not inciting violence. I'm only saying that's how it used to go down. I'm just saying, you ignore me. Here goes palm to the cheek. All right, now do I have your attention? Right. So it's kind of crazy that
but you have residents who feel frustrated.
I'm sure you feel that frustrated.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're ignoring me, and I'm a human being, and I'm standing there telling you what my problems are, and we can't even have a conversation to come to a resolve where how can we? What's the time frame? Can we set a goal?
1 year?
Right.
A whole year waiting?
No, not a waiting. I'm saying just to have the conversation to say, let's do this. Like, so what is your job then? Because apparently your job isn't to service the community.
Yeah, yeah. But when I'm saying 1 year, it's not used. I'm just saying, like, she had to wait. She's still waiting. Like that.
I get it. And
crazy.
And then NYCHA's losing tickets, right? Wasn't that the other thing that's going on?
Well, we've gone down.
They'll kick the tickets
They
out.
close them out.
And you could tell them what happened when we went down there. Go ahead and tell them.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
They basically, oh, well, you're not the resident. She's the resident. All right, well, he's here with me. Like, because there are a lot of things that tenants don't know that other people tell us. If it wasn't for Stan letting me know a lot of information, I wouldn't have known.
Right.
That's why if it's something that I really don't understand, I reach out to him so I could get a better feed on it.
Right.
But they ignore you. They don't. Yeah. The director doesn't even come. They send a worker, or it's the lady. Remember the lady? She sat on the phone the whole time.
Yep.
She didn't even see what the situation was. And Jamaica Houses is the same way. It's just like Ravenswood.
Wow.
Exactly like that.
Well, yeah. We actually know the resident council president, Manny. So
maybe you reached out to him yet?
Right, Manny Martinez is out there, right?
Yeah, he's a resident. So I'm going to reach out to him this week. This week's been busy
Help
with my
support
son,
it.
but we're gonna reach out to the resident council president there to see what we could do in your grandmother's apartment right now. While she's waiting for the transfer, at the very least, she should be in a decent apartment.
Right.
So she's in Jamaica.
She's in Jamaica Houses.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it's unconscionable. So then to tell a little bit more, I know you mentioned it.
And Stan, I also wanted to say this because I feel it's very, very important.
Sure.
Sometimes your living situation, it really affects you mentally.
Of course.
It
100.
really does.
Right.
100%.
Really does.
We look at the health conditions of people, but remember, health is not just physical, it's mental.
Yeah.
And we have to look at that too within NYCHA. And I said it on one of the shows, we really need to figure out and look at the correlation of the illnesses with people and public housing, because lead paint, we always talk about that, how it impacts children. It also impacts adults too.
Absolutely.
Adults can get sick from it too, headaches and so forth. And, we're ignoring them. We're testing the kids, but not the parents.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So how is that? If your kid tests positive for lead, then you should be getting tested
For lead.
too.
Right.
you know, but they don't do that because it's like, oh, it's about the children. And you know, that's just the old cliche from way back, right? We all been tested for lead growing up.
Right.
You know, if you grew up in public housing or not, you know, lead paint, lead.
Yeah, you had to do that.
So, but yeah, we have to be more proactive, and you have to push your providers as well, because then they can also help write things, you know, in letters and to the management and to NYCHA for you, or social worker or something like that. But yeah, we have to figure that out too, how
Yeah.
they are impacting the health of the residents.
How long has your grandmother been in the apartment, by the way?
She's been there.
Since 207.
Since 2007. Okay, she moved in 2007.
When do we
Got
switch
you.
out?
They
Yeah.
Right.
tested for lead there too.
We do
All right, we're
switch
gonna swap
Cool.
out in a minute. We're gonna swap out. Let me. I'm going to go to a, I guess, relevant commercial. I guess that would make sense. All right, maybe that wasn't relevant. Go ahead, switch. It's okay.
The years, you know.
Shake it, mama. Let me see what you got. Shake it, mama. Let me see what you got. Shake it, mama. Let me see what you got. And we are back.
Look who we have.
Through the magic of television, we were able to switch people in the.
But I want to make a statement. Why
Please do.
The lack of repairs is so important, you know, and how it relates to the blueprint, you know, and RAD and all the rest of that. You know, they are ignoring these apartments and ignoring repairs because that's part of their plan to kind of make people so frustrated and so angry and so upset that they will just accept this privatization plans that they're trying to shove down people's throats. You know, so the not doing repairs is not by accident. They're doing that on purpose and letting people live in these conditions for their own goals and what they're trying to accomplish. So I just wanted to put that out there.
Greetings.
And greetings. And what is your name?
Marilyn Patterson.
Madeline Patterson. How are you doing, Miss Patterson?
Okay.
It's good to be on the show. So, what I wanted to ask you about is, what is the condition of your apartment? What's going on? I mean, let's talk about it. Just open up and let's go.
It haven't been painted in years. I did the paint jobs that was
Wow.
done. We had my refrigerator broke down a couple of years ago. It was 3 weeks. They never bought me a refrigerator. The day they brought me a refrigerator, I had already ordered one.
Okay.
And I told them the refrigerator was in the hallway, that they can come
Come get
and
it.
get it. That's when they sent the new refrigerator, because it was like in my neighbors, you know, across the hallway, they can come move it out.
Right.
And the worker, he was mad because he was on his way to bring a refrigerator up. They didn't tell him that I had already got a refrigerator. He had to just remove it. All my food spoiled. I took pictures, videotaped it, sent them to it. Never got paid for that. Showing how my food was spoiling. I mean, the hallways are nasty. You have people hanging out in there, urinating, you know,
Right,
suffocating, and they barely clean it. You know, when they do, barely mop it. There's the ceiling, you can see where it's leaking to right over my door, which they doing work on the roof now. And everybody on the other side, apartments, was leaking, water running in. And with the storm, mine was coming in wet in my living room over the bedroom window. They're still working on it, but they're moving fast. They moved all the way down to buildings, you know, a couple of buildings down, and they had to come back.
Got you.
And it's just Jamaica houses also?
Yeah.
40 projects.
Yeah, you got to reach out to Manny on that.
Yeah, to see what can be done from his side, his angle of it.
Yeah, just see what's happening with that. So, how long have you been in your apartment? Or you live with your mom? First of
me
all,
and
I'm
my
assuming
mom.
that's your mom.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
you guys live in the same apartment.
Yes.
Okay, got you.
And she's in her final stage of Alzheimer's. She can hardly walk. I've been put in for transfer to move to a different apartment, a lower floor with an elevator. Still haven't got it yet.
Okay,
There's
so
no elevator in your building.
No elevator.
your building doesn't have an elevator.
No elevator.
So as a
Oh.
And it's a
caregiver,
problem for her because her walking has gotten worse.
Of course.
She
Yeah.
can't walk down the steps. I could barely hold her up. getting down and up the steps.
Wow. So how have you been able to manage? I mean, how does when you have to get up?
Yeah,
to the,
slowly. Yeah, holding on. Slowly.
Not cool.
It's just
Yes, that's a lot.
problems getting worse and worse.
And she's got to walk up 4 flights of stairs.
Well, and it's hard for me too because I have to carry groceries up
Right.
and down.
Yeah.
And I'm getting older as far as coming
Yeah,
up and down.
yeah.
Now this transfer
For somebody that's hollered at your age, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, yeah,
You
yeah.
look great. You look
No,
great,
she
by
said
the
I'm
way.
68, but I'm 64.
Okay. All right, but you look great.
I feel 68.
You
Don't worry
look
about
great.
it. Don't worry about
Good,
it. You're
good,
all right.
good, right.
68.
You're all right. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
We here at the table. We alive. We good.
look great. Though.
64, 54. Listen, we're splitting hairs here. All right, so don't worry about it. You know, but yeah. So it seems like you're kind of part of the systemic problem that's going on in NYCHA altogether, really, and how it's going down in the neglect. Now, you've been waiting for these repairs for how long now? Has it been a year? Has it been?
No, about since 2018.
Jesus. Okay.
this is
Years.
Yeah, this is.
Years.
18.
All right.
Do the math.
And what is it? What?
Wow.
And now I'm kind of curious because I just want to understand something because I some stuff is a lot of times is mind-boggling to me because I'm a humanist, right? I believe in engaging with people, and if I can fix your problem, I'll fix it, and if I can't, I'll just send you someplace. I'm the king of that. So what is management saying? Is this the ignoring situation?
They're concerned about is what you're making and going up on your rent. You know?
And that's it.
Yeah.
And so you put tickets in and all this, and what happens when you put the tickets in? Are they getting closed without anybody doing the work?
No, nobody's doing certain things and not being done.
Wow.
Especially.
So you got to call a spade on this thing, right? Because this is genocide, right? Because it's genocide, right? It's environmental genocide, right? If you have people in an environment that makes them sick and makes them unhealthy and makes them mentally
have to make it
unhealthy,
happen.
right? Unhappy, this is a genocide. It's environmental genocide.
Absolutely.
And that's what's going on. And the language has to change because we have to understand the severity of this.
Yeah.
And this is one of thousands of stories.
Right.
It ain't like it's you're isolated or it's not like that. It's like every time someone comes and sits down or on the Zoom, they're showing us pictures of their
Yeah.
apartment. So obviously there is a concerted group effort to make NYCHA residents uncomfortable.
But
Yeah.
it's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
That's one consciousness.
There's
You know what I'm
no
saying?
doubt
That's
about
one
it.
mindset. This isn't just Jamaica or Ravenswood or Washington or Jefferson or Isaac. This isn't just that. This is literally one consciousness going, we're going to screw these people over.
Well, systemic racism.
And here are the rules, right? Because it's the same, right? Don't fix their apartment. Push RAD in the blueprint.
That's right.
If they come, let's ignore them, right? But let's regulate them on what they can't do, right? This is when we get active. We become active to tell them what they can't do. Don't smoke in your apartment. You can't be in the courtyard. You can't do this and you can't do that, right?
No loitering
Right.
in the
No
hallway.
loitering,
if
right.
you live in the building.
Right. So they're going to be active with that and then become passive to your needs
Absolutely.
for a comfortable living.
You also have to
Absolutely.
look at the demographics of what lives in public housing.
Right, yeah.
Black and brown people.
I mean, black and brown people, and I'm gonna say this again because I had to say it one time on another show. It ain't people that's on welfare and poor people in NYCHA. They're people that we had a teacher on here.
Mixed
Right.
income.
Right. What is your occupation? What did you do?
I'm home health aide.
Home welfare.
Yeah,
There you go.
but
Professional.
I was yeah.
And what else did you do in your lifetime?
I was working at a medicine company on Merrick. There was a time I was working 7 days a week. One job I was on both of them, but one I was at 9 years on Merrick and 21 years on the island.
There you go.
So, also, can you let
Doing
folks
both.
know
Yeah,
about
please,
what,
go
your,
ahead.
what your mom did? I mean,
So I
she
had
worked
to
40
put,
years, and
What did she do?
She took
what
care
she-
of people like her.
Okay. So she was like a home health aide or like
yeah,
a
she did sleep in. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Yeah. So
She did it for years.
yeah, so
It's
we're not
all walks of life. Yeah.
right. So we're not
All
talking
walks, all different types of incomes.
Right.
But that's the narrative that has to change, right? Because everybody is not. And if you're on public assistance, so be it. That's fine. But then we have retirees. We have this people that made up this city is in public housing.
Right.
Your correction officers, cops are in public housing.
Transit.
Teachers. Come on, we go back and forth
Yeah,
like
all
little
day.
a little bit of every walk of life that you can imagine is in public housing, you know, and people are making an array of incomes, and there's an array of rents that are being paid 30% of their income. You know, some people might be paying 600, 700, 1,000, 2,000, you know, and not necessarily those high rents in a 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom. They could be in a 1-bedroom.
Right.
You know, when I lived in McKinley houses, we had a teacher over us, you know, and she was hollering about her rent. Although we were in a 2-bedroom when I was with my mom and them, but still, it's like she was, you know, complaining her rent was up there because she was a teacher. So, you know, but we need to respect, you know, and it's about humanity. You know, like it doesn't matter, but it also goes to the history of public housing, you know. So how it started and who was actually living in it in the beginning. You know, it was Caucasian people, and housing was segregated, right?
Right.
So why did we have, and this is all by design, you know.
Absolutely.
This is by our government, and they didn't want public housing to last. They didn't think it would last and didn't want it to last. And then we had the white flight, right? When they gave loans, low interest loans to
Absolutely.
Caucasian people. They built highways to separate us. I mean, it goes back, you know, into time. And now that you have black and brown people in there, you don't give a damn about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And actually, it wasn't really supposed to be funded. It was supposed to work off of the income of you. You know, the money you paid for the rent used to supposed to have been the upkeep.
Right.
But then when they made changes with who can come in, you know, public assistance, low income, you know, different incomes, that's when a shift came and funding was needed. But if funding is it's through the state,
Right,
you know, the
right.
government, like fund it. If you have to fund it, you fund it to keep it going. You don't tear it down.
Right, absolutely. And the thing with the struggle, when we struggle, hold on, I gotta get that up.
Got a lot out.
When we go into that struggle, they always seem to bring us to the lowest common denominator of the negotiating table, right? Like, you know, and no bust on, you know, Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, right? But they fought for civil rights. Civil is the most basic thing that you could be. Right? I don't need civil rights. I need equal rights. I need to be better than you, right? Like,
Right.
but we had to go for civil rights, and God bless it, it need to be what it's going to be, right? In this situation, we're being brought to a point where we're just saying if we could have decent living conditions, right? And I'm gonna say, you know, okay, but I'm not gonna use the language, but beep that, okay? We don't need decent living conditions. We need living conditions that a human being can be happy in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Above humane. Humane is what you do for a dog, right? I put my dog in a doghouse and I give him food. I'm being humane, right? People are bigger than that. We're all bigger than that. We're all bigger than that. And
Stan is right when he says humane, and I know what you're saying.
Right.
But because they have gone beyond that, they went below
right.
that. So,
which is what
right.
I'm saying, right? It's like arguing for civil rights. They went below civil, so then we were just like, let's just be civil. Well, it's the same thing, right? We've gone below humane, so now our argument is if you could just be humane, right? We'll settle for that. But I'm saying, why settle for that? You know what I'm
This
saying?
is all about social justice. Public
Yes.
housing issues is social justice.
'Cause I see
and I know
people.
you said environmental, but I would call it environmental issues because that falls under social justice, and that's just the problem, you know. And we need to start using the talking points on that of the conditions that people are living in. That it is horrible. It is no, and to have a waiting list with
Right.
over 100,000 people, knowing how bad the conditions are, they still want to get in public housing. Why? Because it's the only true affordable housing that we have. So it needs to be saved. It really needs to be saved, not just for us, but for people that's going to come behind us.
Now I got a question. Who are the elected officials you guys reached out to, and what was their response? Like, who did you guys reach out to? And Latasha, I know you said you mentioned Donovan Richards, the Queensboro president. And did he respond?
I reached out to the Queensboro office. I reached out to 2 more numbers. I reached out to Baisley Houses because they're responsible for some of the senior citizen building.
Okay.
I asked them, well, can you tell me how long would the wait be? I got hung up on.
Wow.
You know, everyone's paying rent, but where's our rent money going to?
Right.
Where's this money going to? Because it's not coming back in our community.
It's going to the Hudson Yards.
Yeah.
Right.
I actually know where it goes.
Tall buildings around us. The
Yeah.
complex.
Right.
All
Of
of
course.
that's coming
Yeah.
up around us. That's all that's coming up around us, and we're not gonna be able to afford this.
So I'm telling you, you're looking at your rent money when you see that building go up. Yeah, that's your rent money.
But when you make a payment for something, you're supposed to receive services, right?
Yes.
So that's the bottom line. So is NYCHA, what is NYCHA doing? Like, what are you doing? People are paying rent and they're not getting services.
Right.
You know, and
Right.
and that's a problem. That would be criminal in anything else.
We paying to live like animals. We paying to die.
Right, 100%.
Yeah.
Paying to die,
Sadly.
And,
right? To be sick,
Yeah.
right? To inhumane, right? Which is really crazy to me. I'm like, and the United States, we're quick to jump on some shit overseas. Oh, look at what they're doing to their people. But what are you doing to your people right here?
Right.
Because this is a genocide.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we had the doctor on the show, and he opened our eyes to
Roger Flores.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
so-
a host of realities on how the environment, your apartment, is killing you.
Right. I guess the greatest shame is that this is a senior citizen, and
Right.
it's happening to, I'm sure,
Elder abuse.
senior citizens all around the city are probably going to do the same
Of
thing. And I
course.
hear these stories,
Because just
and
the
that's
other day,
incredible.
I
Yeah.
seen them bring a senior citizen back from the hospital, and there was nobody down to get them. They had to take him off the long stretcher, put him on this little thing, and take him up to the apartment. And one of the persons that live in the apartment complex had to help him get him on the stretcher. And I have seen this happen a number of times. One guy came on to go to the doctor, and there was nobody with him. And the guy put him in the cab, and the cab was like, "Are you going with him?" No, he couldn't even walk. So what's gonna happen once he get to the hospital?
Right.
Who's gonna be there? Like,
And then you're depending on the
yourself.
cab driver
Right.
to help.
Yeah.
What is that?
And there's, you got to reach out to like Department of Aging and stuff like that, because this is a form of abuse and neglect.
Yeah.
And elderly people have different rights than us. You know,
Right.
you have rights.
And so, yeah, did you guys reach out to the Department of the Aging yet? If not, then we could do that this coming week. Did y'all?
Reach out to everyone that I could reach out to. And NYCHA need to have more social workers that help the senior citizen.
Right.
Do y'all have a community center over there?
no, not that I know.
No community center? Okay. Just asking. Just asking. 'Cause
Right
I know
on.
a lot of them
Stuff
have
is
got.
not,
gotten
going
privatized
on
too.
since even with her case managers, for they're not coming out investigating like they should. You had the for the medical group and the home health group, they was both coming out. But since this virus started, nobody's coming out
Yeah.
on the people like they should.
Nah,
Making
they-
sure
They don't want to
get
do
what
them
they
stairs.
kids. Uh-huh.
They
Well,
probably
yeah.
don't want to. Sadly, don't want to do them stairs. I ain't going back there. I got to walk up 4 flights
flights
of
of
stairs.
Bumping heads coming out at the same time, but now nobody's been out in a while.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
this
Wow.
is terrible.
Oh,
So
this is
when
incredible.
when you filed your because I'm a firm believer of calling people out, right? When you filed your transfer, who was the person you filed the transfer to?
In the manager's office.
Well, who's the person?
It was Miss Williams, but I heard
And
she's
that's
not
the-
there because they're supposed to have new manager.
Okay.
Damn, I can't call you out, Miss Williams. You already got fired.
Oh, no, he's not fired. She might be somewhere else.
Miss
You got
Williams
transferred. Yeah.
She worked at Jamaica Houses? And you- okay.
Yes, she
All right.
did.
They're not even keeping some of these directors and stuff there long enough. They keep transferring from one to this one. You can't even deal with nobody specifically.
Well, that's
Right, because it's moving.
Like Ravenswood.
Wow.
That's the other tactic, right?
Yeah.
Keep the management moving, and then your thing gets. It's like right,
nobody's accountable.
right. Nobody's accountable. I didn't know. I just got here.
Right.
Now you're starting brand new.
What you talking about?
Right.
Right.
Here goes another tactic. Right. That's obviously a tactic. All right, Miss Williams, you're gonna go here. Mr. Jones, you're gonna come here, and then new situation.
When I saw Miss Liverpool, she was originally at Queensbridge. And did a horrible job at Queensbridge, and now she's at Ravenswood. So yeah, that's exactly what they do. They
Yeah, so now that's-
them around.
So we've uncovered another tactic.
Yeah.
Right. So what they're doing is, because you understand something, you have to, if you're going to attack something, you have to attack the system, right? The entire system. so that it doesn't matter who's in place. It doesn't matter who the new management person is, because this is one brain, one mind, one movement. So you attack the system, right?
Absolutely.
You can't blame Mr. Jones, right? He probably didn't even understand what's going on himself as a management. So you have to deal with the system, and that's why, what I have yet to find is who is the puppet master, who is really the one thought behind this thing, and this is above. No. What's his name?
Well, I say Greg Russ.
Right, and you say Greg Russ, and I'm going to tell you something. It's above that.
Mayor de Blasio.
Right, and then it's above that, right? Because these politicians during the time, right, they come in and they go, we're going to do this for NYCHA and do that for NYCHA, and then once they get elected, they don't do jack shit for NYCHA.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? So what I'm saying is there's something even above that.
Yeah. But when you deal with local government too, it's de Blasio.
No, I get it.
And on the federal level, it's HUD.
Right.
It's Marsha Flood.
But okay, good. So then
Which just got there.
Right.
So what is HUD's mantra? What is their thing? Like housing, right? HUD is for public housing.
Right.
Right? They're supposed to be the gatekeepers of that. Right? They're protectors of that. So what is their mantra? Is their mantra that they're pro blueprint and they're pro rad? Right? Is that their deal? Because then that's what you're fighting against.
Well, I think that
Are we fighting developers?
we're gonna find, as far as HUD's concerned, that's what we're gonna soon find out. What their position is. And that's the fight that we're gonna be in, because actually Marsha Flood can end RAD and Blueprint with a sign of a pen.
Correct.
And it'd be over. So we're gonna
fudge?
find fudge, right?
Yeah.
So,
You calling something else fluid.
Okay, all right. So
You think about the water.
So she would be able to end it. So the question and the press is going to be that you're going to have to start answering to groups like Justice for All Coalition, Holmes Isaacs, and the various groups around the country that are fighting for more public housing, not less of it. We need to repeal the Fair Cloth Act to create more of it. We're coming out of a pandemic now. You're going to have folks who are homeless and in conditions that we haven't seen in quite some time. So in this time in our nation's history, it's not a time to turn their back on public housing. We need more of it. And that's where the buck stops. Then beyond that, you got to go to Biden. We had this infrastructure bill that we all waiting on. I saw a piece of it, and I'm not sure, but I saw anything for NYCHA in there.
Right.
And so I'm concerned. I saw it. And so where's this $80 billion and where's the $40 billion that's supposed to come to New York? And if it does come to New York, is that going to be enough to really do what we need to have done?
Right.
And are we going to be in some oversight? Like NYCHA residents need to be at that table to make sure that money does not get dispersed and disseminated and lost, like so many others have in the past. So that's where the solution's at.
Yeah.
Reach out to Chris Banks for following. Thank you.
It has to come from the federal government.
So then, what you're talking about then, right? Because now we're supposed to be going after the president of the United States.
Yeah.
That's kind of really what we're saying. Like, we're really saying that if we want to get something done and we want to get a bill passed, it's time to get past all the oily rags. We're past Greg Russ.
He said the oily rags.
Yeah, they're all oily rags. I want to go for the engine, right? I want to go for where it's at. I want to go for the head of the snake, right? So if you're supposed to go to Washington and be at the White House like, yo, B, we're here.
Absolutely.
And there's issues in our community that you might want to deal with. Because that's really what you're saying.
And I'm saying black women,
voted,
in record numbers to
Yep.
put Joe Biden in. These are women just like you to be here.
Right.
So when you do that, it's time for them to pay up.
Yeah.
And
Right.
make sure that if we put you in there, don't forget us now. Don't do
Yeah.
this infrastructure bill and have money go all around and everywhere else. But if there's no money in there for NYCHA, then that's going to be an uproar, because we put you in there not for you to sell us out and not to have our senior citizens dying in their
Right.
apartments. That's infrastructure.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a major need that we need to address. Just like we're going to address the roads in the transit system
Right.
or whatever else.
Right.
Don't forget public housing.
Yeah,
Don't
the
leave us out.
infrastructure is crumbling. Also, when we look at funding, if we ever get the funding, how are they going to give us the funding? How is it going to be? Is it going to be $40 billion at once, or is it going to be $40 billion over 10 years? Because $40 billion over 10 years is not enough. You know
Right.
what I mean?
It's not
Because
immediate.
it constantly,
Right.
constantly, we're still going to have the problems. Because I remember in 2015, we were asking for like $2 billion
Right.
to fix NYCHA. $2 billion. Now the needs is about 40. What does that tell you? In a matter of what, 6 years?
Right.
That's insane. Like if they would have gave it to us right away, what we were asking for, maybe we would have been in better conditions. But now everything has gotten worse. We're at 40 billion now.
Yeah.
You can't make that up.
No, you really can't. And
It's on record, like news media and all that we were asking, and me, myself, and others, through emails, I have all these receipts. What we were asking for in 2015.
Yeah, and that's really where our argument is right now, right? Our argument really is, we've tried all the channels, Joe, right? We've tried all the channels. We've been to the congressmen, and we've been to the senators, and we've been to the the housing authority and the management and all that. And at one point, we gonna figure it out that we just need to go to the White House. That we really just need to be sitting there.
One night at the White House.
Right?
Back in the days.
You understand what I'm saying?
Plug that make the channels work.
Exactly. There you go. You understand what I'm saying?
One night at
Y'all know what happened, right?
Yeah.
When you look at the historical records of when they were going for civil rights, listen, they were sitting in Johnson's office and Kennedy's office, and they were there with the president because the buck stops there.
Right.
So since the buck keeps getting passed around, let's just go to where the buck stops because we all know where the buck stops.
Right. Absolutely.
And then bring that national attention to a national problem because it's not only NYCHA that has the
course
problem.
not.
It's a national
It's across
housing thing.
the whole entire
Yeah.
country.
Right?
That has public housing.
And that's why I know that that's one thought.
Right?
That's why I know that, right.
the states that have public housing still, because
Right.
Right.
Many
Don't.
states have already been abolished.
Yeah.
Right.
And done with.
Yeah. So obviously, this is one mindset.
Absolutely.
Obviously, this is coming from one person, literally one person that's going, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to wait them out. Because our plan is a 30-year plan to abolish you, right? If you go on the map right now and you see all the buildings in Manhattan, all the developments in Manhattan that have gone rad, it's really crazy. I saw it the other day, and this was rad, that was rad, that's not rad, but that's rad. And I looked at the map, and I said, my God, I said, how did that happen? Like, we're preaching anti-rad all day, but there are places that went into rad.
I mean, they moved aggressively. I know it's an organizer.
they slithered.
Right, they slithered in. There's a lot of things under the radar, that has not yet come out. I mean, it needs to be like a real criminal investigation.
Yeah.
Brought upon NYCHA, because how are you doing this? You took the 1/3, but now these other little small buildings you're taking within development is not supposed to be happening. That was not part of the deal. So
I sat with a resident council president last year in the salon. I won't say if it's a male or a female. That's all I'll say. I won't say that because nobody will know really. And they was literally telling me they're signing for RAD. And I'm like, why? Don't do that. Don't do that. Oh, it's just one building. It's small. Seniors there. This is how easy it is. This is how easy it is. And I'm like, but, I'm going into Ocean Bay and telling them things like it's not good. It's okay. I'm like, wow. But don't tell nobody.
Right. So
Then
you're
we had this
ashamed of your
conversation.
move, right?
Right,
You're ashamed
exactly.
of your move. Right. Stand in your integrity.
He's getting
First
a
of all,
pedicure.
if you're ashamed of your move, then you know it ain't the right move.
right.
I ain't never ashamed of no move I make.
And to say it's only one building and elderly,
it's just
like
elderly
some
people.
elderly
Right.
people. Like
Like, what are you
Those
talking
are the
about?
ones really suffering now.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Nursing
So we
homes.
gonna have to fight back. Latasha, we got to get a game plan going on this week. I think one of the first steps is probably to call Jamaica Houses first, and deal with the manager's office there about the conditions in your mother's apartment now. And then the next step would be to find out, why is it? I mean, this sounds like an emergency transfer
yeah.
should be in place. It shouldn't be a 3-year waiting list, for an elderly person
Right.
that needs to
Well, it's
change.
two.
Right? Because right, two,
Kinda.
right.
Go
if it's
out.
okay,
Right,
you
right,
don't
right.
look, but still, yeah.
So I mean,
Down
so
the
there should be
steps,
some
just going
emergency
out shopping and
transfer, that they should be able
business.
to make happen. And so we gotta get all these elected officials back on the phone. This is what they're putting office for. Like, what is a congressperson in that district doing? What's the city? We're gonna find out who
District
they are.
leader.
And district
Assembly.
leader. We're
Yeah,
gonna
Assemblyman.
we're gonna get down to the bottom of all of these folks, because they do show up, when it's time to get a vote. And they will shake some
And
hands
photo ops.
and all that other nonsense. And then
They love photo ops.
you really don't see them anymore. You really can't even get due to them you know, when it's time to really do some real advocacy work for the people that's putting them in office, their constituents.
Y'all don't want that one nitro pressure. That's all I'm saying.
No,
I'm saying they don't want that one nitro pressure.
and we're gonna report back.
We'll be on the show every week just talking about them.
We're gonna report back after we make these phone calls, what was said, you know, who did what, and so forth. And so this is gonna be a running story, you know, because we gotta make an example. You know, we can't have this happen.
And can you share? You always telling me out when we was in the back or the front. Can you talk about what the what is it they're giving you the transfer, but you got to fill out all this paperwork.
Yeah.
Please speak to that because this is just crazy.
Yeah.
I get applications, notifications from different boroughs, but they're not telling me I have to fill out an application and send it back to each one. You know,
So it's still a
It's
a
like
process.
I'm
So-
on a list. Is that you telling me one Pacific apartment complex, and that never happens. But then in the meantime, there's all these others. That's you know.
So they were sending you applications for other outside of the neighborhood, which
Yeah.
wow.
Not the one that you said I was on the list to be getting. Not that one.
Other ones.
Other developments.
And it's more weight.
Is it in Queens
And
too?
that's like putting you.
Yeah, there's another waiting list. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not only.
Yeah, stall
Okay,
tax.
so you're saying some are not. So they really expect y'all to move. Are they trying to get you to actually move out of your neighborhood where your mother's comfortable, where y'all been for years, and oh man,
Offered me one from a 2-bedroom to a 1-bedroom.
Yeah.
what?
That's what I got the other day. 2-bedroom.
In Brooklyn.
And,
No.
One of
That's why you gotta really get the elected officials deep
my
into this
God,
because it's this is a phone call. This is literally
Yeah.
someone making a phone call and handling this for them.
well, we're gonna go through all the elected officials that represent, and we're gonna report
They'll put the
back
pressure on,
what
yeah.
on what they do.
And involve Department of Agents. So.
Yeah, because this
So you
is
see them in your emails.
Yeah. And I know a lot of you NYCHA, people in terms of people that work in NYCHA, you'll watch the show. A lot of news outlets watch the show. And I'm just telling you, people in NYCHA that work for NYCHA, you don't want this one NYCHA smoke. Because if I get active, I'm coming to your block, right? With a lot of people. I'm just saying that, like, to be real. You know what I'm saying? Because it's becoming so absurd, and you are abusing, right, my black elders. You are abusing the people that raised me as a child, right? This is what you're doing. So at what point do we go enough disrespect?
Our mothers, our fathers.
Our mothers and our fathers, right? At what point do we go, this is enough disrespect?
right.
How did I
You know what
reach
I'm saying?
y'all? Right? Hey mother.
Right.
That's a black thing. Like hey mother,
hey mother,
yeah, hi dad.
right?
Respect.
Like leave that out of the fight. You know what I'm saying? If you want to fight, all right, fight able-bodied people, right? Fight the young, right? Fight the people that are in their 50s and their 40s and so on. You want to have that fight all day. But at one point, where are your ethics? How would you like it if I did that to your?
That's like a bully.
That's like a bully.
Well, that's exactly what it is.
You know what I'm saying? That's like, how would you like that if I did that to your white grandmother, to your white grandfather, right? And I bet they ain't living crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just, you got to call a spade sometimes,
Or you're rich.
right? Or you're rich,
Right.
right? But you got to call a spade. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? That's it's like in war, right? You leave the civilians on the side and you fight the war with the soldiers, right? And in this war, not only are they not fighting the soldiers, but they're also fighting the civilians and the people that can't fight for themselves.
Absolutely.
And that is the definition of a bully. Now you're being a bully.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And shame on any of you management people that work in NYCHA and you are black people and you're doing this to this black woman. That is shameful.
Give yourself some rock.
Yeah, that is.
Rock is on the soapbox.
I know.
He's on the milk crate.
Right.
Don't jump.
Right. but it is. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you are a black woman or a black man and you're in a management position and you're allowing the system that you work for to abuse your black elders?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong
okay,
with
okay,
you?
No, Rob.
No. I just had to say that,
Okay.
and then I'm good.
Okay, you had to
But
get
I
it.
am, because I had to let that go so they understand that I'm serious. No, but real talk. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what? I couldn't sleep at night knowing I'm doing that.
Well, I want folks to know, again, getting back to putting it in context.
Shift gears. Shift gears.
I'll be on the news tomorrow.
This is all by design, and that's the part that makes
You've
that
been
makes you
good for a long
infuriated.
time.
So I understand your sentiments, because many times I get off the phone and or when I go in these offices, it is you. It's amazing how you're able to actually maintain your cool. You know, when you've actually may have sat there for an hour waiting for somebody to come out, and they
Yeah.
don't, and they don't come out, or they say, "Well, I'm going to lunch." You know, then I've seen this happen on so many occasions where they really almost push you to the point.
Yeah.
You know, where you almost want to go behind that window and knock somebody out. You know, because it's just too much. But this is really by design.
Yeah, definitely.
To really cause the psychological damage upon our people. You know, living in these conditions while they push an agenda.
Yeah.
You know, the agenda is let them suffer like this on purpose. It's called obsolescence. That's part of the blueprint, literally. To let the apartments fall into such disrepair that they cannot pass a HUD inspection, which means you are purposely allowing people to live like this. You know, and it touches and it hits home more when it's a senior citizen, you know, who's put the time in on this earth and have lived a good life.
Right.
And this is how it ends in the end.
Yeah.
And that's not constant. It's not acceptable.
A couple of weeks ago, sorry, Rock. A couple of weeks ago, I was dealing with my manager about something about events when I do, and you know, she gave me a hard time, and I told her, we were over the phone having a conversation, and I ended it by telling her, you know what, you are a good overseer.
Well, yeah.
Overseer, you know, because she has the mentality of a slave master.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And this is the systemic part that I was feeling. So I just, right off the top of the head, before I hung up, I said, you are a good overseer. Because she's darker than me. I don't know, she's from another country or something, I believe, but she's still dark as me. So when she walks down the street, she looks like a black, she's about Rock's color, complexion.
Right.
Maybe a little darker than him. But you walk down the street, you look like you're a black woman. You're a woman of color.
Right.
And you're telling me that I'm trying to feed people and you're giving me a hard way to go. Like, they don't let me know, or they let me know by Friday that is approved for an event I'm doing on Saturday. Why? If it's a big event, pizza and everything is coming, it's happening because everything is ordered. People already put in and they're gonna, you know, the word is out. What am I gonna do? Bring it to the curb? No, that's our courtyard.
Right.
That's for us. And we clean up. We clean up after ourselves and mess. We just pick up everything. Like, we really go around with bags of garbage and we really clean up. So it's like one day when we was cleaning up, remember I told you it was Earth Day, management called the center. Why are they out there with bags cleaning up? It was Earth Day. We were doing community work. Right. Yeah. They were upset that we were out there picking up trash. I was with Lakeisha. We did picking up butts, and we had these little pulley things and gloves.
What is that?
They don't want you even cleaning, but they want you to be clean. But if you out there on the grounds cleaning, is a problem. It was Earth Day, for Christ's
It's like
sake.
this. You know what? Call the police. Call the police.
It was Earth Day.
And the news.
Yeah.
You making them look bad.
Call
But
the police.
it was a day of service that, you know, it was Earth Week, but we was doing it on Monday. And they got
You
upset.
have an event. You cleaning better than they do.
Sure.
And that's
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I'm gonna run through the chat room, which I've totally neglected the
Yes.
whole time. Right?
Yeah.
So Anita Patterson says, "Can't see you, but now you can." Good afternoon, one night, your family. That's Emily Johnson. Janet Jackson said,
Emily.
"Good afternoon."
Janet.
Yeah, once again, we love her. Christopher Banks says it's terrible. Looks like G.A. Nitcher, which I think he might be talking about Georgia. Janet said, "Oh my God, unbelievable." Chris Johnson. Janet Jackson says housing is just disgusting.
Grant houses, maybe?
Maybe Grant,
Yeah, okay.
right?
Maybe, I don't know.
No, it's G.A.
Oh, GA, okay.
Like Chris Banks is, I think, in Brooklyn.
Okay.
Brooklyn actor.
He said housing is just disgusting all over. I pray that positive things start happening for
Yeah.
your grandmother and auntie.
Yeah, thank
that
you,
came
yeah.
from Janet. Emily Johnson says yes. Pass the buck management. That's what we were talking
Hey,
about.
Emily.
They are in the office, not answering the phones. The tickets still are being closed out, waiting on the carpenters and painters for dates.
Yeah.
That's the excuse.
Yep.
When you see them just walk around doing nothing. The actual carpenters and the workers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Janice says this is true. There are mornings you get on the elevator and you can't get on because it's been used as a public bathroom. We got cameras for what? She says.
Talk about it.
And that's the Redfern houses.
If you hanging up
It's
flyers,
just as
they'll catch
nasty.
you doing that.
Right, yeah, they'll catch you with them flyers, but you peeing in the elevator. No one saw that.
No, they're not looking for that.
Right. Intentional genocide. Thank you, Emily, because that's what it is. God, please help us all. That was Janet.
Amen.
Renee Simmons says, income doesn't matter.
Hey, Renee.
People shouldn't be treated this
That's
way.
right. Facts.
No matter what the income.
That's right.
And that is
100.
facts.
Yep.
Stephanie Jimenez says, decent is not enough. I need to be human again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, yeah.
And Stephanie, she put a link in the chat to, I think it says selfserve.nitra.info. Compliance.
Okay. Yeah. The compliance. Yeah.
Yeah, she put that in the chat.
We work
Big
with
shout out
them.
to Stephanie.
Matter of fact, yeah. Yeah.
Emily Johnson, and we have residents who don't speak up out of fear
Yes.
or for what reason, or for whatever reason, and the problem just perpetuates into more problems. Yet still, they don't respect the residents, or keep them informed.
Facts.
Right.
The tennis association is no help, and like
Well.
a snowball, the resident.
Well,
And they like to snowball the residents to the max. So they feel mistreated. I'm sorry. So they feel they mistreat the residents and not provide just basic, better quality of life. Stephanie Jimenez says pictures and up to 10 work orders per room. Pictures and up to 10 work orders per room. Report them again. Get my NYCHA app. That's what she put that up for. Janet, oh boy, I tell you, chat room was alive. So sad to say, but the politicians, some behind our backs, but the politicians, some of them behind our backs, craving on us, especially in Far Rockaway. They put us on their suits and come through lying to us. And it's just so sad. I've been here 31 years. I'm depressed. Mental illness. Happening, right?
Wow.
And ready to go Donovan Richards.
Well,
I am friends on Facebook with him. I sent him a message and he ignored it.
I'm not surprised.
wow.
That's your Brooklyn Queensboro president. there.
Janet says, and Sandrea, please so done, they don't care. And Sandrea, please, so done, they don't care.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stephanie
I hear you,
Ramirez
sister.
says the whole building report in unison. Facts. So she was probably responding to a conversation we were having. And it kind of goes down the line. You know,
Yeah.
it's just,
There's a lot of
mine is a joke. Janet, somebody said something, and bingo, de Blasio don't care either. Hold everybody accountable.
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. That's what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? This is what it's about. Hold everybody accountable.
Yeah.
NYCHA assemblymen, district leaders, mayor, HUD, the president of the United States.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it,
Yeah.
right?
Got to abolish qualified immunity too, though. People, you can't sue them. You can't sue them.
Oh, here you go. There it
those
is.
protections.
Yes, Biden and Harris held accountable as well. Absolutely.
Right. Yep.
Kamala, you too. Like, shame on you.
Yeah. Well,
Right?
They don't deliver.
You are a black woman,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And this situation in this room right here is happening to black women,
Right.
Yeah.
right? So what's your deal on this? What's your take on it?
Right.
Right? Emily Johnson, I have family. The composition is one elderly lady, 3 children, 2 boys, and 1 young lady.
Wow.
The home care had to come and take care of the elder. It's crazy. They made it mandatory that people downsize.
Right.
Oh, that was
Now
happening.
is that? I wonder if that's in the private when they privatize. That's what they do when they privatize. They downsize and do all kind of
Yet,
Stuff
when you
like
need
that.
more space and have it in your development to do the transition, they put people through the mess, put them through the BS. Got it. Jesus, take a wee. I think that's when I cursed. Displacement. I hope everything works out for you and your family. And that is Jamel McCain who said that. And it just kind of goes on. Hello. We're still waiting for cameras in our development. That was Emily.
Wow.
Mildred Millie said, I hope y'all can help my family with the help they need. And that's Mildred. I guess is that someone you guys are related to?
Okay.
That's
Hey.
Aunt Mildred.
Okay. Hey,
Aunt
Auntie.
Mildred. How you doing?
We got our family. We are family. Yeah.
And we've hit our hour. Right? It's only supposed to be an hour, but we did an hour
we
and
did
10.
good.
Yeah.
But
Let
it was powerful.
Let me
Yeah.
just
Go ahead.
let me just say that when they mention the compliance unit, when someone mentioned the compliance unit, as y'all know, we sued Nitro on December 13th of 2019, and our attorneys are Take Root Justice. We're actually working with the compliance unit as well, even with a lawsuit in place.
Right.
Imagine that.
Right.
Even with a
Right.
lawsuit in place,
Right.
we're working with the compliance unit to get things done because we're not really getting things done even with a lawsuit in place.
Which means, wow, so the judge is not enforcing.
Not like it
Like,
should. Like she never held them in contempt. But
See what I mean?
yeah. So we're working with the compliance unit and we're getting things done if we can't get it done through the manager. You can't make this up.
No.
That's
Put a
why.
lawsuit in place.
That's why we need to talk to the president of the United
Yeah.
States
Yeah.
and the vice president of the United States. Right? They have to be aware of the situation,
They
aren't they?
know.
I mean,
Of
aren't they?
course they know.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Of course they know.
But sometimes you got to put a spotlight on it.
But this is what we do here on the show.
Yeah.
And I want to commend you guys for coming
Yeah.
in, because I know many times
Trying
people
to
get
help.
retaliated against, when they speak
Yeah,
out
of course.
and all the rest of that. So it took a lot of bravery for you guys to come and share the story.
Yeah.
And this is just a beginning. This is one of these fights we're going to win. We're going to fight until
Yeah.
we win, because it cannot go down like this at all. It just can't.
Yeah.
First,
It
Yeah.
cannot.
And don't be discouraged because y'all are definitely not alone. It's a whole lot of people suffering. And when one suffer, we all suffer.
And make sure you check on your elderly family
Yeah.
too, because you never know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've as a paramedic, I've been to a lot of houses where mess be going on with the elderly. So
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. So anything else you guys want to say?
No, thank you to our guests once again for coming out and careful, grandmother's here and yeah, so
Does she want to wave or do you want to leave that out?
yeah,
Leave that up to you guys.
we'll leave. I
We'll
don't.
leave that. Well,
Grandma's here and she's in the
Gonna try to
corner.
bring
She's
her.
hanging out.
I'm gonna try to bring in the
I
camera.
want to see if we can bring her into the shot.
Because when I saw the video and I actually saw her on the video, that did it for me. That was like, that was beyond what I could
Watch
say.
the camera stand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's see if we can do it if it's possible. It's Gary D. Absolutely. Emily, thank you. She said keep fighting, and you're right.
Yeah,
We gotta
we're in
keep
this
fighting.
together.
Great meeting. Thank you. Yes, it is like a town hall, community center meeting.
This is what I go through. She
Yeah.
calling.
Right.
Yeah, we actually trying to get the grandmother to come on, and even getting her out the chair is tough. So
So she's about to sit. Okay.
I can't imagine. I really can't imagine.
You know what? Let's just put her in that chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can wheel that chair over to her, and then we can
We'll
do
bring her
that.
back in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And we could just
Stan, watch the camera for me.
the wire.
Y'all are good, just as long as Stan
Just sit her
has the
down.
camera.
Sit her down. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as Stan has the camera. It's cool.
Stan face is there. Look at it. 3D.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Roll her over.
There you
Okay.
go.
Wait. Okay.
Turn it around.
She could just wave. She don't even
There
have to
you
put
go.
no headphones on, just so people could see
And-
the face of a elderly. No headphones. It's okay.
And there you go.
Yeah, that's grandmother.
I said
Say hi to
Hello.
Hello.
Thank you for coming.
thank you for your bravery.
That's right. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Yes.
Yes.
She got the scripture right there. Hallelujah.
On her shirt.
Philippians. Yeah.
And this is to put a face to the situation
Yeah.
so you'll understand what I'm saying.
Right.
And really understand why I was animated today and really upset.
It's infuriating.
You know what I'm saying? To
It's
just to
infuriating.
see this happening. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize to anybody that I might have offended with my vulgar language at one point
On
or
a
another.
Sunday with the mothers here.
Yes, but
They gonna spank you.
it felt like it felt necessary. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but this is what was in the studio and this is what was in the environment. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking like, how is this happening? So
Yeah.
It's too much.
so we'll see you next week, I guess.
One night, you're one people. We lifting
One
off.
night, you one people. We lifting off, and I'm gonna go make crab legs.
Enjoy. Thank you for tuning in.
Wow.